After 18 weeks of intense home and away competition in the NRRRL and 3 weeks of some memorable final series football, all eyes are once again turned to Kingsford Smith Park in Ballina for yet another grand final hosting date. Coming to you live inside Kingsford Smith Park, Ballina, this is the NRRRL grand final for 2018. The Ballina Seagulls versus the Tweed Coast Raiders. You are watching this, of course, on the NRRRL YouTube page. And it's a very good afternoon. I am Dwayne Neville, about to bring you all the action here between the Ballina Seagulls and Tweed Coast Raiders. As you can see there on the screen, lots of loyal supporters from the Raiders. It is deafening up here. Joining me for the call is 1995 and 1996 Byron Bay Red Devil Premiership winner as a player and 2008 coach of the Byron Bay Red Devils, winning the Premiership. I'd like to bring in none other than Nathan Cross. Crossy, how is this energy here today?
G'day Dwayne, and g'day to everyone out there watching it on the live stream via our YouTube page. This is fantastic, mate. You forget how good grand final days are. As we look out right in front of us here is the Tweed Coast Raiders faithful. They've waited a long time for this. They haven't been in a senior grand final. And have a look at the turnout they've got. I mean, they're still on the hill there, as you pointed out earlier, and they basically go out to almost halfway through the tunnel. Up
to Yobbo's Hill, there's a tinge of green, which is basically known to be locals only for the belt. So if you combine the Tweed side with the Moolumbar supporters and the Coogin supporters who were here for the prelim games, you can almost make case of 50-50 crowd today, Crossy.
Totally agree with you. I think I said that last week. I really think that Tweed Coast Raiders today will get that marginal fan supporter. And by that I mean they'll get those guys from Moolumbar and from Coogin. And look, let's be honest, in Australia everyone loves an underdog. So they've won a grand final before, and I think people will be cheering for them.
And as we come into this has always been a fortress for the Ballinas, for teams visiting the Ballina Seagulls. Since 2013, with the exception of 2016, as we see a bit of banter between the two clubs. We're just going to...
How good's that? Well, let's be honest, Dwayne. I think at the moment, if we're talking on field, Tweed Coast have got them outnumbered.
By what it sounds. So we're coming into this in these grand finals. Ballina, as we see, there's a bit of pre-show banter here.
A few unpleasantries, a couple of cans flying, which may or may not be half full. So let's hope we don't continue to see that. Yeah. Let's keep this in good spirit.
Yeah. So, of course, coming into last year's grand final, Ballina won the grand final last year, 32-24 against Coogin. Coogin did have a good lead going into that and going in at half-time, though Ballina can ill afford to give Tweed Coast a head start today with the way they've been playing.
Definitely. Look, I think Tweed Coast know they're coming here today and they need to play error-free football to be a chance. But grand finals, there's a lot of emotion that gets involved, and if Tweed Coast can get out to an early start, they may well be hard to run down.
Ballina, of course, in their last 3 out of 4 grand finals, they scored 30 points or more. Plus, of course, the 17-6 against your mob Byron Bay Red Devils in 2014 was the exception. I don't feel I'm going to see Ballina hit 40 points today, in my opinion. I think Tweed Coast defence is just going to hold up. Though Tweed Coast, as they've been undone coming into this game, they've had their chances leading up to it, but when they hit the 10-metre attacking zone, they seem to hand the ball over.
Unfortunately for them, they have shown that in the last 2 semi-final appearances. They've been really poor when they're in their good ball position. But today, I know that's something they've really addressed through the week. And it's going to be their experienced guys today that really need to lead the way for the majority of their inexperienced team.
And of course, 7 out of the grand finals, 9, ever since NRRRL inception, 9 grand finals have been decided by 8 points or less. And 7 out of those 9 grand finals was 4 points or less. So Ballina also come in with the highest grand final margin of all time in the NRRRL. Back in 2015, they won 34-6 against the Moolumbar Mustangs. Many teams have come here, Crossy, and tried, as you well know, in 2014. So could this be the team to break the duck today and take home the title away from Ballina?
Well, I think consistently Tweed Coast Raiders have been the best team all year, and I'm really pleased for Josh Sattler and for Brent Kite that they've made it here today to the big dance. However, you don't always get what you deserve in grand finals, and they've got to come here today and do the business. But because Ballina, as we've spoken about a number of times, the experience of grand finals and the senior players that they do possess, they know exactly what they need to do today and expect them to execute their plays. It's going to come down to how good Tweed Coast can handle the occasion.
And it seems they're handling it well. You'd be forgiven to figure out Lesberger Field as the Ballina Seagulls run out to the field. So with that, and you would be, as I As you can hear it, you'd be forgiven. We're at Lesberger Field today with the Tweed Coast supporters to our left who are about to greet out the team. With that being said, let's give the tale of tape to the two teams in the grand final. First for the Ballina Seagulls, and they are Dad's program 1 to 17. At fullback, we have Alice Grant, and the wings, we have Liam Anderson and Reese Riches. And in the centres, we have Dan Gibson and Oliver Egan. In the halves pairing, we have Kel Schiefer and Jess Perry. In the forwards, we have Nicholas Ritter, Andrew Batiste, who is going to need to play his best to get home today. He is paired with Phil Crosby. In the second rows, we have Anthony Coleman and Justin Shillingworth. And locking the scrum, here's Michael Dwayne. And on the bench, we have Nate Painter, Dylan Montgomery, Chad North, and Chris Binge. And of course, they are coached by Mick Foster. Who is going to be the team that could potentially bring the home for the Tweed Coast?
For the Tweed Coast Raiders, their fullback and their key player today for mine is Guy Lanston. On the wings, we've got Darryl Brooks and Justin King. The centre pairing's a strong one. It's Drew Lanston and Jack O'Brien. The halves, Jared DeTheory and Tane Robinson, although we think we will see a shift for DeTheory to go to centre and swap with Lanston like they did last week in that preliminary final. The front row of Luke Campbell and Daniel Ross. Their hooker and another key playmaker today in Dan Willoughby. And their back row of Kalani Hensby, Jamie Donaldson, just waiting to confirm if Jimmy Armstrong is playing. Otherwise, it'll be Scott McClellan coming onto the starting side. And on the bench will be Carl Roston, Luke Toon, Connor Hickey, Lane Winley, and number 20, and a key guy today is Corey Blair.
Not working? Is it not working?
Just want to check that our live stream is still coming through. Thank you to our producer, Goffy. Very loud here. Don't know if that's coming through the live stream on your phone or your PC at home there, but a big contingent of Raiders fans right next to us here. It's deafening, Dwayne.
Absolutely deafening here, Crossy, and we would not have it any other way. This is just amazing to see what a bunch of loyal supporters. As Kev and I said in the commentary back in the under-18s, there's going to be a big after-party, win or lose, at Cabarita. Listen to this.
Well, we're still waiting for this Tweed Coast team, Dwayne, to come out. It's not sure if it's some last-minute tactics there or not, but they're leaving this Ballina side waiting.
That I could almost go and say that the Ballina Seagulls are outnumbered today. Certainly on the noise department.
Certainly on the noise department at this very moment. That may change depending on how the game does go. But, gee, this is going to be a good game of football, Dwayne.
This is going to be intense. The last two times these teams have played, only 2 points are separated. Both times we're at Lesberger Field. As you can hear the roar, this is going to be for the Tweed Coast Raiders. This is the Moolumbar Mustangs have tried in 2013 and 2015. The Red Devils tried in 2014. And the Coogin Hornets were invited here in 2017 last year. All have come up empty-handed. Could this be the team? The enthusiasm is there. I have not seen anything like it. And of course, you're watching this on the NRRRL YouTube page, the biggest game of the year. It's not quite the Viking Club, but it's something of sorts there, Crossy.
It's pretty similar, isn't it? It's tell you what, it's a great atmosphere, and still we wait. I know, but look, on the flip side, this won't worry Ballina. Extremely experienced. They know what they need to do. Feel the boys out there. They're having a laugh.
They're already out in the field. We're just going to take a moment for you to listen to this. This is Off the Hook. And out comes the Raiders, led by Guy Lanston. There is absolutely deafening the boos here. The sound is deafening. Sit back and enjoy this wherever you may be watching. There is a live big viewing around the world here. We have viewers from the United States, we're in New Zealand, Canada, United Kingdom and Ireland, Germany. We've even got viewers in China. Wherever you're watching around the world, there's no place you'd rather be. So as we're about to get all in readiness now, we're going to have the national anthem to be sung by Lee Millward. Then I'm now going to pass on to Nathan on what's going to proceed.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, I think we're going to have the national anthem here in a moment, and then we're going to have a minute's silence for my late father, Ray Cross. As we just wait until the Raiders fans get off the field, I'll just take this moment to publicly thank all of the solid rugby league people in the Northern Rivers here that have really got around me and my family over the past few days since we lost Dad on Tuesday.
That was Lee Millward there with the national anthem. May they rest in peace.
Thanks, Dwayne. Yeah, like I was just saying, I just want to thank everyone around the Northern Rivers for their support. He was very well respected, my father, and the love's been unbelievable. It's been overwhelming.
Crossy, I know we had a light-hearted approach a couple of weeks. You know, we're saying that everyone, everyone follows you, but this is like a second family for you, brother. And coming from me and my personal circles, as a friend, co-commentator, and as an employee of Simo's Automotive Group, our hearts and condolences from my family and my loved ones to you.
Thank you, brother. And yeah, appreciate it, mate. And appreciate all the kind words from everyone. It's just been overwhelming.
And of course, that was also a minute's silence also for John Martin, who was the former Group 1 treasurer. May those great men rest in peace. As we
change pace, I suppose now, Dwayne, you know, Tweed Coast, it's their first time on the big stage here today in the grand final, and realistically, it's going to be how they handle this occasion that's going to go a long way to working out if they can win this game or not today.
As we hear the Viking clap go up by their mascot here on the left-hand side of us, none other than John Golan does draw the assignment, and it is his 5th NRRRL grand final. Tweed Coast will be running right to left on your screen. They will have the kick-off. Sit back and enjoy this wherever you may be watching. The atmosphere is electric.
And it should be Nicholas Ritter to have the first carry coming out of trouble here. Let's have a look at the contact from the Raiders.
Strap yourselves in, turn it up to 10, and here it goes. We're underway in the grand final. And Corey Blair with the first hit up. Disperses Ballina on the 20. This is Batiste. They'll be looking for a big game early. As we can see here, it was similar intensity back in 2017. Shillingsworth takes it up. The kid is inside the 40. Tweed will want to start with, and as it's an early mistake there for Ballina, could prove costly early, Crossy.
Yeah, that's what grand finals can do. He had a little sneaky look up there, Ritter, and lo and behold, it was Corey Blair in front of him. Corey Blair's played in a lot of big games. He's an intimidating figure out there, and Ritter had a look at him, and yeah, Corey Blair will be letting him know about that one as well.
So this is now going to be Tane Robinson to play 40 metres out from the Ballina line, played by Guy Lanston. He's had an impressive final series already, Guy Lanston. And this will be Scott McLean. He's come out from 14 to 12. 25 metres out. Tweed, they will need to clean up their 10 metres. There could have been a hint of a knock on there from Jan Willoughby. The crowd's seen it. Josh Gollan will tell them to play on. 20 metres out. Third phase of play. And there's numbers on the left here. Can they get an early lead, the Tweed Coast? This is where they need to fix it up, Crossy.
Got a key coming left.
This is Guy Lanston. Early points camp back for the Tweed Coast. This is the 5th and last, 10 metres out. This is Robertson. The kick's going to be too deep, or is it? First try, Tweed Coast! That's what they needed to do, Crossy. Fix up their 10 metres. And the jubilation of the crowd points at 4-0.
Wow. What a start from the Raiders. We saw Ballina make that error coming out of trouble in yardage. And then they got the scrum. They had a set of 6. They played Kalani Hensby down on a tram line here. Come the short side, tackle 5. And it went back to young Robinson. To be honest, Dwayne, I thought Robinson had kicked that to Byron Bay with this breeze. But he got the bounce made from heaven. And it went across. And who got the try there, mate? I missed it.
We will find that out in 2 seconds. We were just talking about it in the jubilation. I thought for me the kick was looking to go deep. Jack O'Brien.
Jack O'Brien.
It was Jack O'Brien getting the first try score, and they've got it done early. And I think already Brent Kite would have got this team attacking 10 metres fixed up. They already showed.
What a start for the Raiders. And look, this is not dissimilar to last week, is it? You know, they come out of the blocks last week and then they lost their way after about 15 minutes.
So this will now be Tane Robinson to take the kick straight in front. Too easy for him. It's 6-0. Tweed Coast over the Ballina Seagulls. We're in the first couple of minutes of the grand final. So I think it could have actually been Scott McLean with a try.
Yeah, there's a bit of conjecture.
Bit of confusion.
But that's okay. We will find out.
So,
There's one of the greats, Bryce Poisel from the Byron Bay Red Devils out there, making his way to the grand final like many clubs.
They take it up 10 metres out. Nice hard run. Tweed Coast will want to get this back. Go off back to back. They did it last week against the Moolumbar Mustangs. They're going to have to play from their own half. When the last 2 times that these teams played, Crossy, they played so well out of their half and almost scored on multiple occasions.
Well, this is their strength, Ryan, coming out of trouble through yardage with their big forward pack and their good kicking game. So they'll be looking to kick this from just inside their own 40.
Nice hard run there. It's going to be tackled there by Dylan Montgomery. They're going to need all of his pace and defensive prowess. As you can see, Yobbo's Hill over the other side there. It is now nearly full to capacity. The Ballina, they'll need to dust themselves off. They haven't had much chance for the ball except with that one infringement. Tweed made them pay for it. The kick's going to be inside the half, spiraling bomb. It's going to be met there by Oliver Regan. If anyone could get it out of that, you can hear the noise on the left-hand side here, Crossy. I haven't heard anything like it.
Now look at it, it's outstanding scenes. I'm not sure if you can see that on your cameras, but just switching back to the footy here, one of the real strengths for Ballina is to have someone like Ali Grant, and they also put it, so we've got a mistake.
And they've lost it again. Ballina, they're in uncharted territory. Even when they had a slow start last year, it didn't come to this. So, of course, I can remember from last year, within the first 5 minutes, Kudgeon already had a player sent off, and it's a similar intensity. But I have not seen anything like this in the crowd, and I've been to all the grand finals here in Ballina.
It's just great for local football, isn't it? It's good to see a different team into the grand final to bring a different crowd through the gates as we get back to the play with McClellan.
That's McLean there. So it's 15 metres out. Tweed Coast will be looking to double their lead early. And as I say that, they've just let that one slip.
Okay, so just a few nerves there. And it's funny, isn't it? You know, you as a player, the week leading into grand final, you know, you think about in your head how it's going to unfold and what might transpire on the day. And I'm sure for the Ballina players, they didn't anticipate in the first 5 minutes coming up with 2 errors in their own end and being down 6-0.
As Ballina take the scrum feed, 20 metres out. So Batiste, if anyone's going to get him out of trouble, it's him. He's had to do it on multiple occasions. That was Dylan Montgomery. For me, he's probably been their forward. And as I said last week in a game, there's Michael Dwayne with the 2 different colour boots. He's about to go look for work now, Crossy.
Good little yards there from Perry. That's one thing they do well. They suck him in 3 or 4 defenders and then they play to keep going. And now Batiste is out of dummy half.
Well run there by Batiste. They finally get inside the Tweed Coast half a field. They're set for a right side play. This will be Alex Grant sending it up. Nice kick by Alex Grant. Well collected there by, I think that's Oliver Regan. He can score him from anywhere, Oliver Regan, but on this case he's been dispersed.
He is, it was good hands, and that sort of was my point before we had the error down this end, was that they actually, Regan plays centre, but he actually plays wing in defence, and what that allows is, he's an ex-Queensland Cup fullback, Oliver Regan, and as is Alex Grant, so they've got 2 guys who they put back at fullback to come out of yardage, who are good under the high ball. That's a real strength for Ballina.
Tweed Coast will play this 40 metres out from their own line. And there's numbers on the right if they can get out. I think that's Justin King. Justin King gets away, but the Spurs could possibly be out, but he's just kept in field, Justin King. 40 metres out. There's numbers on the left here if they can get it out there, Tweed Coast. I'm seeing there's about 5 on 3.
I'm liking their early ball movement, the Raiders here. They look sharp.
It's over 40 metres out. Nicely tackled there by Nicholas Ritter. And as I think the crowd's just kept a bit quiet here, it's Jack O'Brien.
You just see Batiste hunting Robinson inside the ball there, making him play early.
Now let's see what Tweed Coast can do on the 5th phase on 20-30 out. That's Tane Robinson's kick straight into the hands of his under-23s championship winning teammate Liam Anderson.
And we haven't seen much of Anderson in this semi-final series. He hasn't had a lot to do. I'm keen to watch him play today.
So he gets it out, 15 metres out. Batiste. This is Regan. And there's a bit of a forearm there from Dale Brooks. Nice, met well in defence there, Dale Brooks. This is Michael Dwayne. And slams him in the tackle. Been low-scoring affairs between these two in the last couple of games.
And look at the good numbers in there for Tweed Coast. You've got 3 in each tackle.
Ballina are going to have to come from uncharted waters. It's not very often that they've come back. They've always led games by scoring first. This is going to be Guy Lanston.
And he's a key for them today. We saw him leave the field, I think it was just before half-time last week in that prelim final. He obviously
hard tackle, look at that. I think that was the winger, Reece Richards, and it was Reece Richards. And there's Dylan Montgomery. As I have it, 35 minutes. Sorry, Crosby.
That's all right. I was just going to say, Willoughby's, he just bites his time, Willoughby. He just had a look there. The markers weren't in right sync there as Robinson kicks.
Nice kick by Robinson. It's going to be greeted there by Alex Grant. Did they hit the hands of Alex Grant? Josh Gollan says play on. He's dispersed 10 metres out. This will be a 7-set play. This is going to be Reece Richards. You can hear the Raiders away fans behind us here. There's still a few Moolumbar supporters next to them. As I said, they have formed a coalition today.
And it might be an obvious statement here, Dwayne, but the Raiders are the team that have come out with the most energy and the most positivity, both in their attack and their defence. The challenge is going to be for them to keep it up.
And I think that's what they needed to do, as opposed to what it was 2 weeks ago up at Cabarita. The kick goes up. Nice kick. Well taken there. I think that's Guy Lanston, the fullback.
And I really like this. I wanted to come here today and see him get into a bit of arm wrestle, a bit of end-to-end footy. Don't find touch. Let's just see it become a war of attrition.
This has been some man-to-man stuff so far. If you just joined us, it's 6 points to 0. First blood to the Tweed Coast Raiders.
He goes to Theory.
And he couldn't quite get away there, the Theory. If Tweed could score another one off this, Ballina would be in trouble.
The metres are too easy. They're quite passive indeed, Ballina, at the moment.
The only thing that concerns me about the Tweed Coast cross is if they've gone out too fast.
Yeah, time will tell, won't it? You know, if they front-loaded all their energy. But looking for a cross kick here.
That's Tane Robinson with the kick. And there's number 10. Oh, dear. There's had some interference there.
Oh, I think it was Kalani Hensby. All he had to do, it was a bit like the Luke Lewis one last night. He sort of had it and then he lost it late.
I thought for a moment there that he might have been impeded when he grounded the ball. Not suggesting penalty try by any stretch, but nevertheless, Josh Collins says play on.
Yeah, it was a 50-50 contest, and on this occasion, Ballina got the benefit of it. It was a bit of a false start there.
So we're about in the first 10 minutes here in the NRRRL A-grade grand final. 6 points to 0. 12 Tweed Coast over the Ballina Seagulls. Ballina Seagulls are in uncharted territory at this stage. They've had to come back and win grand finals before.
Good shot, Campbell.
They had to do it last year. Byron Base were in a similar position in 2014. They scored early. And then they came back, they grounded it out. Ballina know how to do it. They've done it many times here before. They've never lost a grand final here before. There's numbers, that's going to be, I think that was Dan Gibson. I think it's a force phase. That's Perry. I think that's Coleman. In the corner, I think that's Liam Anderson. I think he's just short.
What a tackle. Guy Lanston.
This is now the fourth phase. Cut out pass. That's Richards. There's Regan in the corner. Regan is in the corner. Oliver Regan strikes back for the Seagulls. Josh Gower points to the spot. 6 points to 4.
What a hit back from the Seagulls, and that's what they can do. It all started as they were coming out of their own end, and they just went middle forward for middle forward, and then a lot of the Tweed Coast Raiders guys want to jam in on Big Dylan Montgomery because it takes numbers to get him down. Had a nice little tip on from the ensuing play. We saw him go down that far left-hand side, and I think it was Dan Gibson who got tackled, and then they came to the right, couple of passes, and the long cutout pass from the front rower, Nicholas Ritter, found Regan, and then he was too good. He scored in the corner, Dwayne. 6-4.
That was Oliver Regan. Last time he did play here, he did score right underneath the sticks against Coogin.
And this is the qualities of this champion Ballina team. I mean, let's be honest, they have not been in this ball game. It's been all Tweed Coast, and lo and behold, here we are. We're 6-4, and it's game back on now.
So Andrew Batiste will kick from the sidelines to add the extras. The wind hasn't been as intense as it was during the day, during the prelim games, though he's still going to have a bit of a contest to try and get this one over.
He's pretty much kicking into the teeth of it, isn't he, Dwayne? It's like a southeaster.
As the Tweed Coast Raiders fans behind us are going up. He'll take his time, Batiste. It's looking good from here, but I think the wind might just hold it up. Just bounces off the post.
Oh, a game of inches.
That would even have to be a first for Andrew Batiste, and he's kicked many of them. Tweed Coast still in front, 6-4.
And as you recall, Dwayne, I mean, the only reason Ballina had the ball was because we had a 50-50 inside the goal. Kalani Hensby could have well scored, and Tane Robinson's lining up for a try of their own, and we could be 12-0. Instead, we're 6-4.
Trust you're enjoying the coverage wherever you may be watching around the Northern Rivers, New South Wales, Australia, or indeed around the world. There's about 10 or so countries tuned in for this one, to my knowledge. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday night if that is the case. Nice hard hit! Well responded there. I think that was Daniel Ross. He has been so impressive in defence, Daniel Ross.
He's been enormous for them through this semi-final series, Ross.
This is going to be Oliver Regan, the try scorer. Gets it off to Reece Riches. And he's well dispersed right on the 40-metre line. This is going to be played by Shillingsworth. Grant. Ross isn't looking for work again. Josh Collins called time off or something.
Yeah, you'll see Nicholas Ritter's covered in blood there. He's obviously he's split. He's got a head clash. They wouldn't want to lose him this early, Ritter. I mean, the plan will be to get Binge on and give him something different with a bit of ball play. Hopefully Ritter can stay on there. Just looks like so. Yeah, he's going to try to stay on, and they'll try to strap that one up there. So, yeah, they don't want to lose Ritter at this early stage of the game.
So, I think Nicholas Ritter might even be coming off, Crossy. So this will give both teams a chance to just cool down after, what was an intense 15 minutes of football thus far. And to the disapproval of the Tweed Coast Raiders, a bit harsh for me though, but they're absolutely going off.
Yeah, they're going to get
northern side of the field.
They'll get started without him here, and that's
Montgomery. Batista played. He has a choice of either side. It's going to be Alex Grant. Now I think that was early in their set of 6 there, Crossy. I think that was interesting that they kicked early.
Yeah, it must have been. I did lose count of the tackle count given the stop in play.
So away it goes. It's now going to be Justin Shillingsworth. And the tackle looked a bit, I thought we might have rolled him in the tackle. Josh Collins going to play it on Reece Riches. He's been so impressive in defence, like Reece Riches.
He plays well above his weight, doesn't he? I mean, that's a good carry from Big Campbell.
He'll be looking for a big season next year. One of those under-23 representatives, the champion under-23s.
And just see the joy they get, Dwayne, coming out of trouble. It's easy yards. They've got these big bodies and they find their front.
So away it goes. This is now going to be Corey Blair. And it takes the likes of Dylan Montgomery to stop him.
That's a good matchup, those two. They know each other well, and they're the two biggest blokes on the field.
Fifth and last. This should go to Alex Grant, to the disapproval of the travelling Raiders supporters behind him. Well tackled there in defence, 10 metres out. And ooh, for me that might have looked, I think he's just got that there, Oliver Regan. Well tackled there in defence. I think that was Kalani Hansby. And you can see there, he's strapped up like a mummy there. Nicholas Ritter. He'll be easy to spot all game with that.
Won't he ever? Yeah, we'll have no problems with him.
He's got the, what's his name? He's got the Burgess look, the Sam Burgess look.
Yeah,
from another grand final back in 2000 and I believe it was 14.
Yes.
So as we play it now, they're playing it inside the 30, Ballina. Nice kick over the top, beats everyone. Goes right in the hands of Alex Grant. He's away, Alex Grant. Kicks himself again. And there, I think that's well defended it. What a play by Ballina, the ball's still alive. What a grand final play by the Ballina Seagulls. They didn't get the points, but they forced us out of 6 out of nothing there, Crossy.
Oh, great play. Alex Grant. Well, I mean, you can't coach class. And Alex Grant's got an abundance of class, and he showed his hand there. He put a nice little deft kick through after he was good enough to kick and regather. And then I think it was Dan Gibson that came through and cleaned up Justin King, and he's forced a repeat set for his team.
It's time, but it was. So this is going to now be met by Carl Schiefer. There is Ritter with the strapping. Takes about 3 or 4 Tweed Coast players to disperse him. Can Ballina get a lead out of this out of absolutely nothing?
Dwayne, I'd like to see him open the field up and get some early ball for Coleman out here. He's a good player, Coleman.
This is Batiste. He's been their prodigal son for all these years, Andrew Batiste, for all those grand finals. I think he missed one of those grand finals. He was playing at Runaway Bay at the time. This is Montgomery. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was the grand final that they beat Moolumbar 34-6. I don't recall he was playing that day.
Okay, here's Coleman. Ooh.
That is Anthony Coleman, the captain of the under-23s.
He's very underrated
Northern
player,
Rivers rep side. They'll be looking in for guidance. They're playing the left side. Kick, I think it's going to be a bit too deep. 20-metre restart for the Tweed Coast.
Yeah, and that's miles too big into a stiff breeze, and it still ended up well over that dead ball line. So I think it was Jess Perry. He'd like to have his time over again there and go for a higher percentage play. Although, having said that, they did sort of catch him off guard down that short side. So I think the run option was the better play there.
So Tweed Coast will have this 20 metres out from their own line. And I think that everyone now here, especially here in the commentary box, over where the Tweed Coast fans are, Yobbo's Hill over there, which is now packed. I think it's just died down and cooled down. We're going through the first 15 minutes of absolute intensity.
So it was intense, wasn't it?
So now it's the calm before the storm, before the final 15 minutes if it comes to that.
That's right. I'll tell you who only knows one pace, and that's Luke Campbell, mate. He is unreal. I love him. He's
a great train.
He just goes and goes.
This is Corey Blair, brought down by Ritter, and I think that was Michael Dwayne.
Yeah, and Ritter, good. They handled Blairy a little bit there, and good defence.
With the double-coloured boots and the strapping, no numbers required.
Your favourite player, Michael Dwayne.
30 metres out, kicks going up, and the wind's just going to slightly push it. And you can hear the crowd there as throwing off the likes of Alex Grant, but he's an absolute professional. As you said, he's off to France next year.
Yeah, that's his bread and butter, that stuff, Alex Grant. And good chase from the big front row, Daniel Ross. So Ballina now, the pressure's back on them now. They've got to truck it out of their own end into this stiff Tweed Coast defence.
This is Regan. Dispersed 10 metres away from their own line. Montgomery, well tackled there by McLean. Scotty McLean. This is third phase, this is Ritter. So, Ballina just not trying anything silly. Their ball handling has been good ever since they had the couple of minor hiccups. Well, one major hiccup, which led to a try from Tweed Coast. But ever since then, they've just calmed their nerves and they're just gradually playing it. This is Michael Dwayne, kicks the ball. Well picked there, and there's going to be a penalty for Ballina. I think Michael Dwayne was hit late.
Yeah, they'll be really disappointed with that one, the Raiders. I mean, I think Batiste didn't realise it was tackle 5. He found Dwayne, and Dwayne realised he had to kick, and then he's forced a penalty for his team. So now Ballina, they're going to find touch, probably on around Tweed Coast 40, and they're going to have a set of 6 to try to take the lead.
So Andrew Batiste will kick this, will get some valuable field position for the Seagulls. They'll have it, I'm guessing crossing, I think it's about 20 metres out from the Tweed Coast line.
It's on the 30, and that's a terrible pass.
Yeah, that was meant for Batiste. Ends up in the hands of Montgomery. Might come out better without having him on the run for the first phase. Batiste gets it out to, I think that was Kel Schreifer.
Sheether, they're all in the same way there. They've got to give Sheether some options there. He had nothing else to do but run there.
This is going to be Batiste again. Michael Dwayne.
They've really got to play early ball for Coleman here. That's where they're going to get some joy, the Seagulls.
Michael Dwayne, of course, scored 2 tries against these two teams 2 weeks ago in Cabarita. Perry. This is Alex Grant.
Very well defended there, Drew Lanson up and in. He saw Grant out the back and he went and got him.
So this, I think, is the 4th phase now. They're opting to go to the left-hand side. And I think there was a little bit of a spill there. They almost want to come off Tweed Coast, and it has. Josh Collins confirmed it's going a double knock on. Should be Ballina 6 more.
Yeah, a bit of an unlucky one there. I couldn't quite see. It might have been McClellan chasing from Marco. That's always a tricky one. They can knock the arm and it goes away of the defending team, or they can say that it actually hit the ball and they get 6 more tackles, and that's what happened on this occasion.
As Ballina will have a 20-metre scrum feed. Josh Gollan doesn't like something in there. He's called time off.
I think someone's down, Dwayno, for the Raiders at the back of the scrum. It looks like McClellan, and the trainer's going to go out to him now. So that'll cause a bit of a pause in play and give the Raiders a bit of a breather. They're going to have to defend their line strongly here, which has been a feature of their game this year. But that's the beauty of today, Dwayne. We've got the best defensive team and, in my opinion, the best attacking team in Ballina. 100%. So what a matchup.
Ballina, of course, had a points differential of some like 590 odd, which just absolutely eclipsed the second best. Tweed Coast, they are the minor premiers, though they're coming in here as slight underdogs with Ballina playing at home. As I mentioned, Ballina have never lost a grand final at home since in NRRRL inception. This is Ritter. And there's numbers either end there for Ballina.
They're going left. Oh, they're going
Tweed
right.
well set for it though. Let's go, and I think that was Shillingsworth. Shillingsworth to Spurs. I think Batista's going to be looking for a dummy play. He can turn something out of nothing, Batista, and that's what he does. Could there be a try out of it? I think that might have been grounded by Tweed Coast.
Oh, they dodged one there, the Raiders.
Now, I've seen Andrew Batista play over the years a lot, and I could just see how he was setting with his foot there. I knew he was going to be set to run off the mark there. He was doing a little bit of the way he positioned his feet. I've seen him play a lot over the years, and I just knew he was going to do a cheeky little dart up the middle. Almost paid off.
That's what he can do, Batiste, at the time when you least expect it. Sheether's going to take this ball near his 50, and Ritter will bring it back.
Nice take by Sheether. Gets it out to Nicholas Ritter. Can guarantee he's going to have a sore head tomorrow more ways than one. Nicholas Ritter will have, depending on how the rest of this game goes.
Look at Montgomery there. Just get out of my way, he says.
Montgomery. To the approval of the crowd here to our right. And they're playing a left side play. Past into Alex Grant. Alex Grant can go himself into the post. He does. Alex Grant splits it up the middle. Gives Ballina the lead.
No, they've called it back here.
I think there's a forward pass called. And to the approval of the Tweed Coast supporters, they're going up like they've won it.
Well, Dwayne, this is a carbon copy of the play that the Sharks put on last night. It's an out-ball, in-ball play for your fullback. I think the Sharkies did it last night. They played out to Lewis, who played back in for Valentine Holmes, and that's what the Seagulls have done here today. But unfortunately, it is a hard pass to throw backwards because you're on that outline. And I think it was Coleman that threw the pass, and it's been ruled forward.
So mark that down. If it comes within 6 points, these two teams have come within 2 points. So rest assured, mark that down at this point of the game if it does come to it. Could that have been a chance for Ballina that they've gone letting, Crossy?
Yeah, well, I see that as 1-1. We saw Hensby miss one down in this corner here for the Raiders, and now Grant thought he was over, and that was brought back as well. So now the Raiders come out of their end. They're going to the right edge here.
They're playing an early second phase play and attack. I got to love the horns that these Tweed Coast fans are wearing. I saw them, as I said in the early games, I saw them at a concert in Brisbane on Friday night. There's many different versions of Odin here today.
Oh, and the Seagulls.
They've got this off a one-on-one strip.
Yeah, I think it might have been Willoughby trying to milk a penalty for a man in the ruck, and he sort of he did himself in there, and Batiste dived on the ball, and Josh Collins said play on. So that was another 50-50 call that could have gone either way.
So this is going to be paid by Perry, Jess Perry. And a lot of their family, friends, partners and loved ones are all here today. They've been here since the under-18s fixture, where some of these players are in the same family. A bit of a family affair for Ballina today. This is Alex Grant. Fifth and last. Good defending by the Tweed Coast. They've kept them Ballina right where they want them. That could possibly have been played at. But they've kicked it. I wonder if that was actually played at, Crossy.
Nah, that was the experience of Andrew Batiste. He saw, I think it was Hensby getting back on side. He just kicked straight at him. And unfortunately for Ballina, he didn't get 6 to go. I just see Montgomery's off now, Dwayne. So all of a sudden, Chris Binns comes on. We saw this in the major semi-final. Chris Binns come on and he changed the game
defended
with his short passing. So look for Binns to play a part.
Nicely tackled there by Kel Sheaver. And you can just hear the Ballina fans, they're calling for disapproval. They'll get the ball back anyway. They'll call for offside there, Crossy.
They were, and then the Raiders have spilled it. So the Seagulls are going to have a scrum feed on around the 40-metre line, right in the centre of field. And this is what can happen, Dwayne. I mean, we come out, we have this intense start. Raiders get out to a good lead. All of a sudden, a bit of fatigue gets into the game, and you start coming up with some errors. So this is where grand finals can be won and lost before half time, just with some key moments.
So they'll have it 30 metres out. This is Dan Gibson.
And he's lost it.
Oh dear, that's going to be costly for the Seagulls. And
well, Dwayne, I hate to say it, but it's been a real feature of the whole semi-final series is the mistakes, hasn't it?
ball control.
Yeah.
In Tweed Coast, though, at least in one part, they've improved a lot on their attacking, inside the attacking 10, heading into the place. So, but I mean, Ballina have just defended well just to not even keep them in there.
Oh, definitely. And now Tweed Coast, I mean, just looking down at the bench here, you've got Daniel Ross and Corey Blair, probably their two best go-forward men on the sideline. So these guys in the middle are going to have to take the reins from those two. Here's Jack O'Brien.
Nicely run there by Jack O'Brien on the third phase of play. And nice tackle there by Nicholas Ritter. I think, could that have been, that was Shellingsworth. And they've given away a penalty to Seagulls. And in handy field position too. Now, being at 6-4, what would you do? Would they go the 2 from here or?
Nah, I think I'd play on here.
Let's see what they can do with inside their attacking 10.
And Dwayne, if it was me here, I want to get to the middle of the field and, oh, he's over!
I think he's over! No, he's knocked it on. Very costly there for Tweed Coast. They know it on the bench too.
Dear, oh dear, he was over the line. And he's just come onto the field. Was that Toon?
I think that might have been. But
oh, for the Raiders.
So that's now 2-1 there, Crossy.
2-1.
So his play resumes with 20 metres out. Batiste plays it. It's nicely brought there by Oliver Regan. So it's going to be Michael Dwayne. He's a bit...
Well, no one... Look at Ballina. I mean, they're pretty bunched. I mean, Chris Binge is going to get the ball here and play at the back to Perry.
This is Binge. That was Perry. Gets it out to... I think that was Coleman, Anthony Coleman.
They've got to keep going the same way when they play that left edge.
35 metres out. And I think that's Alex Grant. Nicely dispersed. And they're just shy of the halfway line. Ballina could... This is where they're dangerous. They can turn something out of nothing. Though they're down on the scoreboard, 6-4, very low scoring affair, which is what I thought might have been the case coming into this one. Reese Richards was looking for work, couldn't quite get there, and I think they're going to think twice about dragging him out. They can't ill afford to give away a penalty.
He did well there, Brooks.
Oh, not a nice fend! The Seagulls wore that one.
Great carry, Jack O'Brien out of trouble. That's inspiring for his team.
Jack O'Brien, he's having a grand final winning performance, I can tell you. If Tweed Coast do go on to win this one, you can mark him down for his efforts. Or mark him up, I dare say. Write it down, mark him up.
They're going to come back short side here. No, they go open.
So they're inside the 40.
Good run, Carl Roaston. He's just come on as well for Luke Campbell.
So 5th and last. They'll take the kick. They've caught Liam Anderson napping. I think it might roll out. It's not going to roll out. Liam Anderson's going to have to play it.
That's a great set.
And to the approval of the Tweed Coast Raiders fence on our left.
And Dwayne, you remember from last week, Tane Robinson overcooked a couple of his kicks and showed a bit of inexperience, and it was Drew Lanson who came to the fore, and that was him there putting that kick down that right side into the corner.
You got it right on point. They're inside the 20, Ballina. Tweed Coast have done well. This is how they kept Mooloolaba Mustangs out of their game. They've just couldn't make notes. This is Dwayne, Michael Dwayne.
Well, Ballina feel like they've lost their way a little bit here, but they've got so many class players that they can change that at any time. As Grant's going to kick early.
Grant takes the kick. Catches the Tweed Coast. I think that was a hand on that, surely. And Josh Goller calls it as such. And is that deafening up here to the big approval of the Ballina Seagulls?
And we just praised Brooks about his take in that last set under a bit of pressure. On that occasion, he got an unfavourable bounce, but unfortunately for the Raiders, that's an error. And for the Seagulls, they're going to go on the attack, and this is where they can really turn the screws here, the Seagulls.
So we're in the last part of the first half in the NRRRL Grand Final in the A grade fixture. If you just joined us, 6-4, Tweed Coast over the Ballina Seagulls. Though Ballina, they had a shaky start. And they've given away a penalty now. Interesting to see what Andrew Batiste does here.
30 metres out into a pretty stiff breeze, so tap and go.
He always likes to take the kick, not on this occasion. Can ill afford to. They want to get the try and have some momentum swing their way.
Dwayne, I wonder if they'll look to set up that little trick shot again with Coleman and Grant.
So, providing, I was just going to say that's Batiste. This is going to be Phil Crosby. They've got to set up for attacking side. Either side, they up to go left. This is Binge.
Good play and good defence.
Well defended. And that's Batiste. It's just gone right into the hands of the Tweed Coast Raiders.
Was that tackle 5?
Oh, I think that might have been the 4th. I didn't see Josh Gollan put his hand up for 5, but nevertheless.
Interesting, Batiste kicked early there. I mean, they're sort of, they don't look like they're out of options, but they're not throwing as much at them in recent times as, oh, good shot.
And penalty given. And Ballina, you can sense the frustration there from the Ballina Seagulls.
Well, it's tit for tat, Dwayne, isn't it? It's really hard to get a read on who's on top. I mean, we come down here and Tweed Coast with their good line speed and their physicality in defence look like they're getting on top. Then they give away a penalty. Ballina are attacking, and then all of a sudden Tweed Coast is going to have a tap and be inside Ballina's half. It's interesting to see how this is going to go, mate.
I could just sense a bit of frustration on the faces of the Ballina Seagulls. I know, though, they've been defending really well, and they've kept Tweed Coast in their half, and they know what they can do if on the halfway line. Ballina almost threw it away. We could have been saying a different conversation if it wasn't for the fact that Corey Blair wasn't a few inches taller. We'd probably be in Cabarita today.
Most definitely.
Of course, I'm referring to how he was inches away from scoring, would have got them the lead.
They should come back short side here. Here they come.
He's an attacking phase now. I think that was Donaldson. This is now Kalani Hensby. Guy Lanston.
Dwayne, I like how Donaldson uses the footy and plays early. Especially got to get Hensby one-on-one with Sheether.
So they're playing on the right side of field. Gets it out to Cal Roaston. Fifth and last. The crowd goes up over the north side of the field. The Tweed Coast faithful. Robertson grubbers it across. And it's well read there by Oliver Regan. Amazing take by Oliver Regan.
That's class from Regan. We spoke about him earlier being an ex-fullback, and he showed his wares right there. Good D from Robertson. The Raiders going to amp up in D here, Dwayne.
And you can see it right here. And the Ballina fans here, you can probably hear it over here behind us. They were crying for an offside penalty. They've got it.
And I've mentioned it a couple of times in the games we have called. They do tread a very fine line in defence, the Raiders. They do stand offside a lot, and Josh Gollan wasn't going to have it on that occasion. That's a chance gone begging for the Raiders.
So it's been tit for tat thus far for about 25 minutes of this game. Tweed Coast had the early ascendancy. Ballina still down 6-4. They haven't been able to get their noses in front. Perhaps they might be just grinding the Tweed Coast. And I was just saying before, Crossy, could this be Ballina just keeping some fuel in the tank for later on in the game? As you can say, Tweed Coast started at an incredible pace. And you can't assume that they were, even for this great team, the Tweed Coast Raiders, that they would go on like that for 80 minutes.
Well, mate, it's noticeable when Ritter and Montgomery are off the field. I mean, Crosby's got a good carry there, but they don't provide the same punch as what their starting front rowers do. And that's why they've had a little bit of trouble coming out of trouble as we see Grant put the bomb up.
That's Alex Grant, kicks it. It's got high, but distance is a bit short. That was well collected there by Oliver Regan. I think he's just going to be well dispersed. This will be now a Tweed Coast ball, surely. So this is now going to be Crosby looking for work.
And they need their outside backs to get in here, the Raiders, as Brooks goes a dummy half and scoots.
So they're inside the 40. And this will be Chris Binge getting involved in the tackle. 30 metres out from their own line. No, this is Robinson. He thought about coming this side. There was some numbers on this side, Crossy, but he's fought twice of it. He probably should have actually had a go and try and have a run on that.
Let's put a big floating bomb up.
That is Robinson with the kick. And Alex Grant. Nerves of steel, Alex Grant. He had a hostile crowd behind him.
Well, Ballina are going to need their outside backs to come in. There's Riches gets a good run.
Nice run by Reece Riches.
That's what they need. They've lost a bit of punch through their middle. They need their outside backs to carry the work. Here's Anderson.
Nice run by Anderson from the middle of the field. Bit of a positional change for Anderson. Brent Kite shouting out instructions.
Oh, that looked forward, that.
I think he's seen something that he didn't like. It's Matisse. Crosby. Nice run there by Phil Crosby. And they're on the Tweed Coast have done well to just keep him on the halfway line. Batiste sends it. Kick across field. And I think that's Dylan Brooks with that crossing.
That's Darryl Brooks, yeah.
Darryl Brooks, sorry.
Just, made up for his error there.
Nice. That's going to be nicely well defended there. I think that's Justin Shillingsworth. 30 metres out. Ooh. A little bit of a bobble there, but well maintained.
King was looking to come under Theory, and Theory threw the pass, so he'll go back to dummy half and have a scoot of his own.
You can see they've
got numbers on the left, on their left edge here, the Raiders, if they come.
Nice numbers on the left edge. This is Robinson, as you can do. Nice pass by Robinson. And they're on 40-metre line, on the 40 metres out. Sends this one up. And Alex Grant. So cool, calm and collected there, Alex Grant.
Well, they can keep putting them up until the cows come home. Alex Grant won't drop them, but what it does do, it gives their defensive line time to get down there. That's a good run from Anderson.
That's Anderson.
They need to get some joy off the back of that.
The fans behind us here, the Ballina fans, they can sense a try coming. But Tweed Coast have just played so well in defence. Ballina haven't had one inside Tweed Coast half, at least a whole set of 6 at least, for the last 10 minutes. Batiste, Alex Grant, and they just kept pinned them right down. Michael Dwayne plays it from dummy half. Nice kick across. And I think Ballina's getting to the point where they need to force an error.
Yeah, definitely.
To get some points out of this one.
You can see Alex Grant's really taken a lot of ownership and control around that halves. He's playing fullback, but of course they've got a young Sheether in the halves. I mean, he's just a kid playing his first ever big grand final.
That's nicely run there by Tweed Coast. And this has just been end-to-end stuff, and it's been a clean last 10, 15 minutes too. Like, not many mistakes. I think now that the nerds have calmed down.
Look at the easy yards they're making, Dwayne, off the back. A good play the balls. There's half-time.
And that's the half-time hooter. Josh Gollan will call half-time. We will not know what will come of that. I thought Tweed Coast there would just have the edge going into the half. Would you agree, Crossy? Yeah,
certainly. If you had to ask me who was a better team in that first half, it was the Raiders. One thing that we do know, though, Dwayne, is that Ballina will have this breeze in the second half, and they'll have the best kicking game in the competition through Andrew Batiste, which will allow them to play field position. So expect all the play in this second half to be down where we are, down this northern end.
Of course, Ballina now are in uncharted territory. I recall from last year's grand final. Although they were down, and they were down by a bigger margin against the Coogin Hornets, they scored a try right on the hooter, right where those Tweed Coast supporters are. And being that, they took in the momentum, but I think the momentum was, you've got to say, it's with Tweed Coast Raiders at the moment.
And just having a look at both teams come off, I mean, obviously both fatigued, it's a grand final, it's a big occasion, but the Raiders, to me, they looked in pretty good shape coming off. Obviously they're blowing, but Ballina, a number of guys with hands on heads and hands on hips, so who knows, but this Ballina team, it's no fluke that they've won 4 of the last 5 grand finals, and they're going to have this stiff southeasterly breeze blowing with a guy like Andrew Batiste in this second half, and I really expect, Dwayne, that I expect them to probably come home the stronger potentially.
And you're seeing it all here on the NRRRL YouTube page. This atmosphere is beyond electric. Quite an amazing turnout from the Tweed Coast Raiders, but so far they're in front. For how long? Half time here in the NRRRL A grade grand final for 2018. It is the Ballina Seagulls 4, Tweed Coast Raiders 6. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes for the second half. Dwayne Neville with Nathan Cross coming to you live from Kingsford Smith Park Oval in Ballina for the NRRRL Grand Final for 2018 between the Ballina Seagulls and the Tweed Coast Raiders. If you just joined us, it is the Tweed Coast Raiders in front 6 points to 4 after a pretty tight affair, though I think so far it's advantage Tweed Coast, Crossy.
It is, mate. It certainly is advantage Tweed Coast right now. It could be a lot of a different story. You know, we saw Tweed Coast Raiders bomb 2 chances and we saw the Seagulls bomb 1. So, as we kept saying, it was 2-1 in the bomb chances stakes. But like I said just before the break, I expect to see Ballina play field position in their second half through the kicking game of Batiste and Alex Grant and really play it down this end. They struggled to come out of their own end when they lost Montgomery and Ritter in the second part of that first half as the Raiders come back onto the field. I really think Ballina will play field position now, and the Raiders, for mine, they're going to look to play Hensby early, get one-on-one with Sheether, generate some quick play the balls, and play down a short side, try to use Jack O'Brien and Lanston, but time will tell.
As both teams are now back onto the field, no one's gone anywhere. In fact, it's just looked like there's more supporters coming through the gates, a few late comers. And if you're watching this at home, you can cut this electricity with a knife. You can hear the Viking clap over the left on the northern side of the field, occupied by the Tweed Coast Raiders active area. They'll have the support on their backs coming into this one, Crossy, in the second half.
They will, mate. I was just having to think then, if we're getting a situation where Ballina's attacking Tweed Coast line, with a premiership on the line, the Raiders are going to have their whole fan club supporting them, talking to them on their line defence. That's going to be something to behold if we get in that position.
Of course, Tweed Coast, they're potentially 40 minutes away from doing something that hasn't been done in NRRRL history, and that is win a grand final at Kingsford Smith Park.
And some of these guys, Dwayne, they would have dared to dream during the week. Haven't played in grand finals before. We're standing here 10 years ago to the day the Raiders halfback or centre here in Jared DeTheory won a premiership for Byron Bay, and he's got to try to help his young guys get home here today.
As we're underway in the second half, 40 minutes and extra time if necessary to decide the 2018 Grand Final, and already the Tweed Coast Raiders mean business. That was a solid run in defence. An attack by Kale Ralston. They dispersed on the 30 metres. Now, Crossy, would have been in the sheds in 2014. You would have been in those sheds where Tweed Coast was in, the very sheds that they're in back in 2014. What would have been the mood like when that team was in there?
Well, look, the mood, it's a tricky one, because you're trying to give guys confidence and let them play footy, but by the same token, as he's away.
That's away there. It's going to be Liam Wheatley. Wheatley gets it off. He's dispersed. Just short of the line. Ballina not out of trouble yet. There's still one more play left. They've gone the cutout pass on the left. I think they're in the corner, Tweed Coast.
It's Daryl Brooks.
They started off early in the first half, and they've done it again in the second. The advantage is really now Tweed Coast now, 10-4.
And we'll look for a number. I think it was Toon that might have gone straight through, and he had Tane Robinson and Guy Lanston inside him. He threw the dummy. He took the tackle. Ballina got their numbers back around the ball. They got into dummy half, threw a long pass, overhead pass, fell in the hands of Daryl Brooks. He did a bit of a jink, and he was good enough to get over. And what a start for this second half.
And that was Dale Brooks. He knows how to score him, Dale Brooks, and they needed him to score one on this occasion.
I think it might have been Winley that made the break, the 16. We had a late number change before kickoff here today. It could have been Winley. And what a run.
And Dale Brooks, that adds to his 7 that he has scored during the season.
And we were just talking, Dwayne, about what we say at half-time and things that you're looking for. As a coach, you're really looking to start the second half well. I know that for everyone at home watching that sounds an obvious statement, but you've got to start well. Here comes Robinson in.
And that just floats away. The wind diverted that away from the post. Thus, still remains 10 points to 4. The Tweed Coast Raiders over the Ballina Seagulls. And Dale Brooks, he's an ex-Moreland player. 11 tries for... Sorry, I think that's... he did score 2 tries in 2 other games versus the Evans Head Bombers and the Lower Clarence Magpies during the season.
He's been solid for them on the wing. He had a good second half last week. He didn't have a lot to do, but he had a good second half, and here comes Winley again.
So Tweed Coast, they've already ironed the creases in regards to their attacking 10-metre play.
And Carl Roaston has just taken off where Corey Blair's left off. I mean, he's really getting forward from him. Here goes Willoughby.
You can just sense here the Tweed Coast Raiders are looking the most hungry. They want this. Like, everyone wants to win a grand final, but they want this. They know that they're not going to settle with a minor premiership. They know the salt went into the wound when they couldn't host the grand final. And Ballina, I think Ballina is just, they've been there and done it enough times. And that, for me, Crossy, could almost be their downfall, is like they've been, they've done it. Now I think they might be looking a little bit too relaxed against a team that's coming white hot as opposed to the Tweed Coast.
Well, one of the big question marks for me today, Dwayne, was how much Ballina wanted this. Because when you have success every year, success after success, winning grand finals rather becomes the norm.
I was just about to say that. It's like, I was saying in one of the earlier games that hosting this grand final was just as much as a landmark as the big prawn in Ballina when it comes to Ballina. It's just, you almost expect it every year.
You do.
Yeah, so Tweed Coast, as I said, they were within a few blades of grass of hosting this cabaret. Can you imagine what it would have been if this was here in Cabarita? I know the after party's going to go off.
Yeah, they've got it set, haven't they, the after party up there today?
Yeah, Kevin Ferrugia told us during the call, one of the games, they've got Freddie, I think it's called, playing. They want it to be a celebration, not a commiseration. And so far, they're in the box seat at 10 points to 4.
And we're just having a look at Shillingsworth. He's still getting some attention there from the trainer. He come up with a great shot on one of the Tweed Coast Raiders players. They had all the momentum out of that set after a really good carry from Roaston. He come up with a great shot, and obviously he's done a shoulder there, but he's going to play on, and Ballina have got the scrum feed.
And I was saying earlier in the game, I thought if Tweed Coast can, and thus far, they're so far so good in their case, if they are on out there attacking 10, they'll win. They will win.
Yeah, they've been poor in that area, haven't they? If they can address that, I agree with you, then they can be good enough to come away with a premiership.
Still plenty of time to go on this one. That was Michael Dwayne with a run. They're set up for a left side play, but they'll have to go right. He was thinking about kicking it, but I think he just fought twice of it then.
Didn't have a lot of options outside him, Sheether, there, but he took the tackle.
And oh dear, pass. It's going to be well collected there by Jared DeFeary.
Well, that was Binge, and I praised him 2 weeks ago for his short passing. That's one he'd like to have back. DeFeary takes the ball and on tackle 0, and Carl Roaston gets him forward there.
It's going to be played now by Dan Willoughby. And oh dear, he would like to have that one back, but they get a penalty out of it. Now, this will be interesting, Crossy. They're about 30 metres out, 6 in front. Can they stretch it out to 8 points from here? The wind is just died down enough. You'd think Robertson will take it too.
I reckon he will. I'm just having a look at Brent Kite down here at the moment. They are going to take it.
Josh Gollan points to the spot for 2 points.
You could see the Raiders were pretty keen to take it. I'll be honest, I'm not sure about that play. They could kick out and be in good field position, because in grand finals, when you're going into the wind, you really want to play field position, and they had an opportunity to do that there. So anyway, they've gone for the 2, and Robinson will line it up 30 metres out right in front.
Tane Robertson. Of course, the other thing that occurred 2 weeks ago between these two clubs was when he took a kick and it hit the side post. That could have at least taken an extra time for them. And if I dare say, Crossy, if they'd have gone extra time in Cabarita, and with that momentum they had, that could have almost made a case that they could have been at Cabarita today. As Robinson kicks and it's looking good. It is good.
The touchies did not move.
12 points to 4 now. Tweed Coast Raiders over the Ballina Seagulls, which is the same amount of points Tweed Coast scored in their game 2 weeks ago.
Well, for me, Dwayne, this game is really going to up the ante when both teams get their starting front row back on. That's where it's going to be won or lost, and who can actually get over the top and win the battle in the middle. And
I just think the Raiders fans to our left here, the Export, have taken it up a few decibels. I've not seen a Ballina crowd this quiet on grand final day, Crossy, like from every other part.
They've been out-cheered, if that's the right term, haven't they, by the Raiders supporters? That's Roaston again. He's been enormous off the bench, and he's made a real difference through their middle.
We are at Kingsmith Park, guys. I want to iterate. We're not at Cabarita. And the pass that goes to the Ferry. This is going to be Jack. Sorry, that's Justin King.
And unbelievable hands from Drew Lanston.
Played by Willoughby. Gets it out to, I think that was Lanston. Drew Lanston. That's
his brother Guy.
Guy Lanston. Now, if they're not out there already, I think they've got to get Dylan Montgomery back on. I think it's getting to the point where Ballina can no longer rest him. He needs to be out there.
Yeah, it's getting close to that time.
Ballina can ill afford to let Tane Robinson, I thought, was making most of the defender there, but it's been played on. Ballina, this is their first real attack in the second half.
And let's just have a look here, Dwayne, how Ballina respond coming out of their own end. We'll look if Batiste looks for an early kick. He can have a 40-20 down in this bottom corner.
If anyone's going to do it, it's him, because he's done it many times before. So they're well dispersed on the 30-metre line. Tweed Coast just want to do what's got them here. Just clean defence.
Good ball from Ritter.
And there is numbers on the left. They can get for a set of hands quick enough. But the defence has just been A class.
As it has all year.
It's been 11 out of 10 for me. And they've done well. I think this is the fourth phase. They've kept them right on the 30-metre line. As you saw there, Crossy, Batiste kicked. He had no other choice. They've just been belted and well dispersed down their own end, Ballina.
And you called it, Dwayne. Montgomery's back into the action.
And I think that's what they need, Ballina. They need to get a bit of go forward.
I'll tell you what, mate. Your man, Michael Dwayne, needs a new jersey as he's about to make a tackle.
So, nice solid run there by Jack O'Brien.
Is that a big game, O'Brien?
The Tweed Coast Raiders smell blood. They are dangerous. This is going to be Lanston, Drew Lanston.
Oh, and he played inside there. They'd set it up, but he had numbers on his right.
And no means out of it, though. But if the Tweed Coast can score here, Crossy, then that's going to send absolute alarm bells for Ballina. They're already down by 8 early into the second half. And this is that momentum that's carrying. This is Robinson. Nice kick. And for Ballina, their back line has been impressive to neutralising the attack.
Yeah, and well done, Tane Robinson there. I mean, I was critical of him last week towards the back end of the game where he overcooked a few of them. And he showed a cool head there and got a repeat set for his team.
So Ballina will give Tweed Coast another set of 6 via a dropout. What a season this has been thus far.
And if I'm Coach Brent Kite here, I'm really wanting to get early ball to hand.
Ooh, did you see that, Crossy? I think that was a little bit desperate for me from the Ballina Seagulls.
Well, we spoke about this last week, how a lot of teams are now doing the short kickoff.
And it's backfired immensely for me. They've given Tweed Coast a set of 6 right in their own 10.
I was just about to say, Dwayne, early ball for Hensby on their left edge.
And I think they can make them pay. That was very risky. And Ballina are no means out of trouble. Though Ballina is doing well to neutralise it at this stage. I think that's the third phase. And they bow in the middle. I think they've got another one at Tweed Coast.
That's Willoughby.
Dan Willoughby has got another one on the board for the Tweed Coast Raiders. They can feel that premiership now. Thus now making the score 16-4.
Well, they had great shape to the left. They set up, which spreads Ballina's line. They got a good play of the ball, and Willoughby, he's a class player. He had a bit of a look, had a dabble, and got over.
You can hear the cheers from all the way up from Pottsville, Crossy, Cabarita. Although probably half of them are here today, half of the town's population, they are going electric.
Yeah, what about the scenes at the northern end of this field here with the Fill the Hill t-shirts, the Tweed Coast Raiders shirts, the lime green.
And Tane Robinson, that's for me, that looked a little bit desperate for me from the Ballina Seagulls. I have not seen him, in all the games I've seen him over the many years, I have not seen him do a play like that, and it backfired immensely.
Yep, they live and die by the sword, and on that occasion it didn't come off. I think it was Batiste that might have kicked it. And now Robinson's got a kick to, I think, put the lead out to 14.
The crowd is going wild on the northern side of the field. They'll cheer this over, and it's looking good. Thus now the score is 18 points to 4. The Tweed Coast Raiders over the Ballina Seagulls.
Oh, what a buzz around the ground. Look at the Raiders fans at that northern end. Carl Roaston's he's going to come off the back fence for this, to hit this up.
And now it's getting to the point, I can't believe I'm saying this even in this game, Crossy, that Ballina will have to be next to score.
Have to be.
They're 40, so now that makes 16. It's getting to the point where this has been a tight affair by both teams. And the way that the Tweed Coast have defended, and they have really fixed up that 10-metre attacking. I don't mean to sound like a breaking record. The Viking clap goes up over the northern side.
And we see Carl Roaston coming off. He was unbelievable for them. And look who's coming on, Corey Blair. He's got to try to get his team home.
They know this is the one that counts.
They've got numbers here.
They've got numbers on the right, the Tweed Coast. They're really putting Ballina to the sword here. That was the Fury with it. Now this is Corey Blair. He was so close yet so far a couple of weeks ago. I think now this is... Oh. This is fifth and last.
Oh, get up.
It's now going to be played now by Lanston. And I think they're really smelling it. Surprised I didn't go for the kick there, Crossy, but...
Yeah, he took the chance, didn't he? He threw the dummy. As we see Andrew Batiste. He was involved in that bit of a head clash there, and he's receiving some treatment.
The Tweed Coast, they're really now putting on the 80-minute effort. They've caught, I mean, I didn't think they could keep this intensity for 80 minutes, and though I'm happy to put my hand up and say I'm proven wrong. But, I mean, with that being said, there's still about 20, 25 minutes, I dare say, left this one. Ballina, they've gotten out of this one before, but though I've never seen them this far down in the grand final. I don't think even the ones that they've lost, that they've been as down far as 14 points.
Well, when the going gets tough, you've got to look to your key players.
And
there's one of them there in Montgomery.
It's got to start now, though, for Ballina. One more could put it away, even for this championship-winning Ballina team who have won it, who have never lost here. Tweed Coast could write history here today. It is right in their favour. So, though, Ballina, they need to do something which not many teams have done this season, and that is break their defence. They're the only team to have beaten the Tweed Coast Raiders this year. Well read there. I think that's Guy Lanston. And he goes himself, Guy. I think well run by Guy Lanston. Picks up about 30 metres on the fly.
Great return of the footy from Guy Lanston. They missed him in that second half last week. And Ballina, they've got to find something here, the Premiers.
This is King. Scored an impressive try last week against Moolumbar Mustangs. That's Donaldson. They got it to the halfway line.
And Dwayne, this is where key parts of the game where you just, as a player, you got to know your role and know what you need to provide for the team. You don't need to go and do anything stupid. You don't need to win it. It's a good offload.
On the right, though, Crossy. And I think that's the Fury. And I think that positional change, moving DeFury from the halves into the centres, has also paid off. It did in the first couple of minutes in the last week's game against the Mustangs. This is Robinson.
Look at the width of the pass there from Drew Lanston. It's really opening up that Ballina defence, and they're struggling. They're going to have Ritter down a short side.
And that's a nicer kick across field. And well read. I mean, that's one thing Ballina have been on point with is their kick returns. They've been just done so well.
Yeah, well, they've got a couple of great guys at the back, which I've touched on with Regan and Grant to get them out of trouble.
And I'm just having a look at it here, Crossy, that the lowest that Ballina's been kept to this year is 8 points. And that was very early in the season, round 2 against Coogin. That was when they had a slow start to the season.
Seems unbelievable given the attacking prowess that they do possess.
They have a points differential of close around about 530, 590, I dare say. And it just pays massive credit to the Tweed Coast defence, keeping them just to that one try.
Well, they need to force an error here, the Seagulls. They need something to happen. There's a good tackle.
And nicely read in defence. Couldn't quite, that was, for me, that was Chad North who made that. I think he's only just come on, Crossy.
Yeah, he's just come on. This is where Jack O'Brien, look at him go.
Jack O'Brien, he's absolute speedster.
This is where they've been great, Dwayne, coming out of trouble with their big bodies, their outside backs, and then their middles.
Yeah, I can hear them calling for offside, and that tackle that Batiste. Oh, sorry, that's Michael Dwayne. They're looking a little bit frustrated for me, Ballina. They know that their record is hanging by a thread of flawless grand finals here at Kingsford Smith. And has taken a team that has never won a minor premiership, and it's only really now they've been thereabouts, and they know that they want this. As I said to you a couple of weeks ago, the premierships have been divided between Ballina and the Moolumbar Mustangs since about 2011.
Yeah, they have. And just to go back to the play, and that was a fantastic kick from the young half in Robinson, right into the corner. It's always hard trucking it out of your own end, but it's worse coming out of a corner. And now Ballina, there's a lot of blokes walking, hands on heads.
I have not seen Ballina get to, and as I said, that's a nice run. He's got numbers on the left. He's got one to beat. And that is, I think that's Schiller. Sorry, that's
Anthony Coleman.
Anthony Coleman, that's a nice run by Coleman. Though he's seeking a penalty, I think Ballina still have it. It's called not going against Tweed Coast.
That's a massive call. I think Josh Gollan wasn't sure what to call there. He wasn't in great position in regards to being able to see it.
He would have got assistance from his linesman.
I think the Raiders can find themselves very unlucky, but what about the run from Coleman?
Amazing run from Anthony Coleman.
I mean, talking about Coleman, he's an unsung hero. I mean, I had the pleasure to coach him in the Gold Coast Titans under-20s. I mean, mate, he was 18th man for first grade back in 2014. I mean, he's a very good player, Anthony Coleman.
You saw it here, folks, on the NRRRL YouTube page. And I was just about to say it before that was that run break from Coleman, that this is the first time this half, I dare say, that Ballina have been inside the attacking 20-25 metres of the Tweed Coast half of field.
Definitely. Let's see him get over here to make this a game.
They'll be running into the active area side of the field. Ballina know it too. They're going to need every bit of their premiership qualities to get out of this one. The man with the ball now knows how to do it. That was Batiste. And I just think he had a bit of a brain fade, Batiste.
He did. He didn't have his centre there. Gibson must have gone in field. I didn't quite see. And he had the winger there. Perry.
King, well tackled there by Perry. I think Tweed Coast, whilst there's still some time in this game, I wouldn't say park the bus is the right word, but I'd say they were just looking to just hold on to the ball and make some ball control and just at least keep Ballina, if they have to play the set of six, keep them well deep inside their own half.
His Hansby with a good carry. Well, I don't want to be made to eat my words, but the fact that Batiste put that kick in and it didn't get anything in goal, to me says it's not their day.
I think it was the point when they went for that 5-metre dropout, which handed them, which handed that try. That was way too early for me, and I just think they had to try something, and it, in that case, didn't pay off. More every day of the week, Batiste, when he does a play like that, it pays off.
And have a look at this try.
And
look at this defense.
That. You got to look at that. They are just ruthless, the Tweed Coast. You can just kind of sense it's their day today.
It is their day. I mean, they started tackle one on their 10-metre line, and it's been a real facet of their play coming out of trouble. I've mentioned it a couple of times. And now, Ballina tackle
hands
3.
On hips. When you see the likes of Dylan Montgomery and Anthony Coleman hands on hips, that's not a good sign on any stretch. They are always looking for work. This is a team that looks, but that's going to be a help there.
Well, there's some experience there from Batiste. I mean, he could see that they were slow to get back, and he found his man. So he'll get a big kick in here into Tweed Coast half.
The kick's coming right towards us, pretty much right forward in the commentary box. Almost landed right here, Crossy.
I was looking for a one-hander there. Here's Monty.
Oh, what a hit by Montgomery!
There it is. Corey Blair and Monty.
What a run there by Corey. What a hit there. Well defended by Corey Blair.
What a matchup that's been, Dwayne.
I've been waiting to see that for a while now.
Well, you don't see many people sit Montgomery, and Corey Blair's done that today.
So this is Alex Grant. They need his out, but look at that.
Well, this is where it's hard. I mean, Alex Grant getting the ball just on a 2-pass standing still is not going to win it for Ballina. They need some shape.
The cutout pass. Ballina are getting desperate. They've just thrown that away.
He throws a beautiful pass, Ritter. I'm not sure where he found there. It's on the other side of the field.
Josh Gollan's play on. He's getting the benefit of the doubt. Ballina should get this back. Well read in defence there by the Ballina Seagulls.
Is there an advantage or?
Well, I just think.
Okay, he's played the advantage.
I dare say, I also think too that he was moving forward, so I think Josh Gone was allowing the play to move forward. It wasn't like he was being dragged out.
Yep. Okay, so if it's going to be for Ballina, it's got to be in this set, Dwayne.
So, to the disapproval of the Tweed Coast fans to the left, I can't repeat what they're saying. And you can see their mascot, their capo, egging them on.
It's just great scenes here, isn't it? I mean, you forget about how special grand final days are.
And take a listen to this now. Yobbo's heel has finally gone up. They've been silenced up until this point. They need them. They need their 14th man on the other side of us here. 14 points, though, is a bit of a stretch. Well, if any team's going to get out of this, it'll be the Ballina Seagulls. It's got to start here, though.
It's got to be this set, like I said, and I think it's got to be Coleman or Alex Grant. They're the two most likely for mine. Here he goes, Coleman.
It's Coleman. Nice run by Coleman. Nice step. Well read in the attack there by Dan Willoughby. Sorry, in the defence. Ballina, this is their first real attacking chance at the second half. Set for either side. Goes out, I think that's Dan Gibson.
And look at that line speed.
And I think that's the spill tip of giving away a penalty. And this is deafening, Crossy.
This is what it's all about here.
I can myself think.
Tired bodies, fatigue.
Any day of the week, Batiste would kick two. He can't afford to now, though. This is Montgomery.
They've got to go right. Ritter's got to play early.
There's Ritter, gets it out. He's going to try and charge himself. That was a brave play. And Corey Blair just throws him to the ground. Can Ballina get one back here? Schiefer gets it out to Grant.
Look at that line speed from the Raiders.
Every time there's a hit up, the crowd, Tweed Coast crowd goes up. Nice run. Ballina throwing everything at this line.
That's what they need. Sheether taking the line on.
They're set for a deep side play, Ballina. This is Alex Grant. Goes himself. Just short. Fifth and last. Batiste. Perry. Kicks it. That was played at.
Yeah, Theory's played at that. He's got it back.
He's got it back. Well collected. Cool under pressure. He's a little bit doughy, though. I mean, that's Drew Lanston.
Well, Dwayne, it's easy to be critical from up here. We're standing. We haven't done any more than walk in the front gate here today. Good carry from King, but Ballina are tired and they're just not setting up their structures. They don't have the shape to throw enough attack for this brilliant Tweed Coast defence.
They made the most of that in that game against Coogin with inside there when they went in the 20-metre line. They wasn't many opportunities where they didn't score, but today they're taking on the defensive prowess of the Tweed Coast Raiders, and that's been on point even when they didn't get the win a couple of weeks ago. That's Robertson with a kick. Sends Ballina right downtown.
This might sit up here.
And now I don't think it's going to be a 40-20 because I mean, Dazay kicked it inside the Ballina half. And everyone, both sides there are looking absolutely they've well spent on energy.
And young Robertson, I mean, he has not put a foot wrong in this second half. His kicking game has been outstanding for a kid that probably had some setbacks last week. Would have liked his time over on a couple of his kicks. He's been enormous here today, albeit on the back of some brilliant go forward.
So Ballina will have this 20 metres out. And so about 10 minutes and change left. Ballina going to need better than point a minute. And they just held up. There's no urgency from the back play there. They need a break, a line break. Could this come now, but they've just spilt it.
That's a shame for the Seagulls. Good play. I like it when Ritter goes to the line and play. He's got good skills. We've seen it throughout the season, and particularly in the final series. But not quite their day, Dwayne. Doesn't go to hand.
And I know that you can't really see it on the cameras here, but look at this crowd. They can sense a major premiership and do what no team has done here and take home a title away from Ballina.
Do you reckon they might have a couple of drinks tonight up there?
Just a few quiet ones.
Maybe one or two.
Yeah. They have Pottsville. They have Casuarina. The best part of Kingscliff has been represented today. And there's a few Coogin and Wollongbar supporters there supporting him as well. And they can sense it. And you think with just under 10 minutes to go, when 14 points up, one more will put it to bed.
And the thing I like about them, Dwayne, is that they're not trying to just protect their lead. They're still playing footy. They're using the football.
This is the grand final. That's Justin King. He almost got away. Justin King. They're really going up into fifth gear. They can cut out past it and potentially hit it. Oh, he was so close.
Oh, if he gives that to Lanson, they score.
Lanson was there unmarked. Josh Gollan will tell him to replay it. Fourth phase of play.
Great defence, Batiste.
I think they've lost it there though, Crossy.
Yeah, Batiste rushed up. Really, really good play and forced the error. So what we're looking at about eight minutes to go. Is that right?
About right. We do not have a clock here. I just want to stress. We're just going off Abadruz the Goffey, who's keeping a clock.
So it's not impossible. Highly unlikely, given what we've seen from the Raiders' defence today, and Ballina's. Well, to be fair, they haven't looked their sharp usual selves, have they?
I just think that they've met their match, and when it comes to grand finals, three clubs have tried. Wollongbar Mustangs on 2 occasions have. The Byron Bay Red Devils, they've all come up empty. And they were rattled in that game against Coogin last year, but they came home amid controversy.
And that was the point I was going to raise earlier, is that when you've won grand finals, you know, winning becomes a habit, but on the flip side is your desire potentially is not as high as what we're seeing with this Tweed Coast Raiders crew. A lot of them into their first grand final.
Their Viking clap has gone up. This is Batiste. And Andrew Batiste, he doesn't become runner-up many times in a grand final. It's Michael Dwayne plays it. He's been, and well read, and it's well read off the kick. And he goes himself. I think that was
Robinson.
Tane Robinson.
What a game.
His for me could potentially be the MVP.
He's had a huge game. Corey Blair's coming off here. He come into the game under a heavy injury cloud with his calf.
He may
have succumbed to that.
He's done what he's needed to do, Corey Blair, with a little bit of support here down the bench right in front of us.
Gets a pat on his back from his coach here, Brent Kite. As they go left.
That's Robinson.
Here's
and
Lanston.
They are one try away from a grand final win. The Tweed Coast Raiders. They sense it too. There's numbers on the left. I think that's Robinson.
Oh, he deserves a try, Robinson.
Ballina just holding on to dear life. That was played at. They'll get 6 more either way.
Nah, still 5.
Still 5th. They're playing deep side. I think that was...
That's the theory with the ball.
The theory.
He's Grubbers.
He's only... Oh, dear.
That could be 6 more, is it?
6 more, it is, Crossy.
This is the ball game right here.
The crowd goes up. This will put it to bed. Ballina are hosting the party once again today, but Tweed Coast want to host the greatest party of all. That is the after party. They're one try away from it.
Your sense is coming.
I think this is Ross.
That's Daniel Ross.
Daniel Ross, he fills the line. They're so close to Tweed Coast Raiders. Plays it. Gets it over. He's over. Thank you and good night. The Tweed Coast Raiders are going to win the title. Listen to this crowd, everybody. The Ballina Seagulls crowd is like shell-shocked. I have not seen or heard anything like it. The enthusiasm has been there coming into this final. They didn't get it done 2 weeks ago, but this title is going to head to the Pottsville Casuarina. And I dare say they're going to have a grand final parade all the way down in Pottsville, all the way up to Cabarita and along the beach there, Crossy.
Oh, what about the scenes here? I mean, this is goosebump type stuff for the Raiders. You know, we spoke with a number of blokes prior to the game, and all year for mine, the Tweed Coast Raiders, there's been a bit of a sense of or an air of sort of destiny about them this year, and that didn't really translate into the first two semi-finals that they played. They got through in the second one, but they weren't convincing. But today, I mean, they've been on from the day one and from the start of playing. Just having a look at Brent Kite down here, I mean, he doesn't show much emotion, but I can tell that there's some swelling of emotion happening within Kitey there. And
they're absolutely going mental. There's actually punters out onto the field. There are players that are actually on the field. I have not seen. I am gobsmacked, Crossy. They haven't just come here and beaten Ballina. They've absolutely destroyed them. As Tane Robinson puts the exclamation mark on it. Who would have thought this coming into here? With the way these two teams played during the season, Ballina just getting the spoils, you'd think with the backing of their home fans over the hill there, they have just shut that out in many ways than one.
And through all that, Dwayne, I think it was Connor Hickey that scored. We got quite carried away given the surroundings here as they make their way to trouble. That's Daniel Ross. He's been enormous once more.
When this hooter goes off, Crossy, this is going to be beyond belief. We're going to see half of Pottsville and Cabarita in front of our very eyes.
And once again, just them coming out of trouble. I mean, they're on halfway already, the Raiders.
It took the likes of Brent Kite, an NRRRL premiership winner with Manly in 2011. He's been in other grand finals. He had the blueprint to get this done, to do the unthinkable, win a grand final, not just win, absolutely destroy the home team. And as I said, I thought for a moment there I had to check my GPS and see that we actually are in Ballina today.
Yeah, their support here today for the Raiders has been unbelievable. We thought they would get the majority of the crowd that weren't related to the Ballina Seagulls, but as Ballina now, they're on the attack. Here goes Ritter.
We're about 3 minutes and change away from Pottsville and Cabarita and Lesberger Field and Cabarita of hosting the party of the St. Northern Rivers of all parties. As Ballina, I think that it's going to be called knock forward.
Well, it's just not their day today, the Seagulls, is it? And the Raiders fans go up again. They know they got the premiership, and I guess it's to know that you've won the game even before the final whistle blows. It must be a wonderful thing.
And you can just say there for the Ballina Seagulls, that's a concession of defeat. And as you can see there to my left, there's not much left of the signage there.
No, the president, Josh Sattler's going to go around and tell them to get behind the sign, and he's trying to hide his jubilation while having the official duties in the red singlet there. Congratulations to him.
This is going to be one big lime green stampede in a few minutes, folks. There, I can already see them lined up now. This is amazing stuff. Amazing scenes here at Kingsford Smith Park and Ballina. And I know one guy, our co-commentator right down there,
Kev,
he's getting very live for the party tonight.
It's just such a wonderful thing to be involved in winning grand finals, John. I mean, I've been lucky enough to win a couple as a player and as a coach, and they're just memories you have for the rest of your life, you know. And these Tweed Coast Raiders guys, they will never ever forget this day. It's one of the great days.
Moolumbar Mustangs, they tried as minor premiers in 2013. They went down. 2014, the Byron Bay Red Devils put on a valiant effort to come from fourth. Couldn't do it. 2015, Moolumbar Mustangs were minor premiers, and Ballina just showed an absolute class, winning 34-6. Ballina had an off year, didn't feature in 16. 17, Ballina as minor premiers, picked it up. And you're going to see history here, folks. Tweed Coast Raiders, they can sense it. They're already busting out the lime green balloons around the cafes and bars all around Pottsville and Cabarita. If you're there, enjoy this. The party is going to go mad. Lesberger Field's already filling up.
And good run there from Regan. But again, the Tweed Coast Raiders are up to the... And there's Shillingsworth.
That's Shillingsworth. Tweed Coast now, they've just gone down a gear. They know that the job is almost done. This is Montgomery. Ballina, they haven't really done too much wrong. They've just taken on a team that just really wanted it on the day. That's a kick. And that's just well met, well in defence. And I know a buddy of mine, Nate Rose, who is a proud local of Cabarita. He puts on the Cabba Bowl, a music event, a punk hardcore rock music at Cabarita. He's over in the mines at the moment. He'll be watching this. If you're watching this, buddy, I hope you got a nice cold beer, got your lime green jersey on, buddy, and you need to plan an after party, another Cabba Bowl. And they're just all on the field here. Security of having to pull them right back.
Well, the game's been played in great spirit, so let's hope that the Tweed Coast fans can stay behind that fence and just cheer on their team.
They're just feeling it. They want to get on this field. We're dying minutes away. Ballina know that they've tried, but it's not going to be their day today. But you cannot discount the fact that they've won 4 more major premierships on their home turf.
Well, they went on a run, the Tweed Coast, and they lost that major semi-final to Ballina. I remember I said it on the day that it might well just be the loss that they needed just to sort of kick them back into
100%.
gear.
They're a vastly different team.
They are a vastly different team today, Dwayne, aren't they? I mean, their intent in defence is never questionable, never questioned. But
they were literally millimetres away from hosting it. But they won't mind. They will host this the after party, the one that matters.
And the best thing for them, for all their players here today, there's not been one bad player for the Raiders.
There hasn't been one bad play for either team, I dare say. In fairness to Ballina, this was an effort to me equally as good as last year's grand final. But they just took on a team who had the coaching prowess of Brent Kite. He, for me, has got all these teams with a great culture on point. And as we see here, and that's just going to be a mere forward pass. It's going to choose some more minutes and seconds off the clock.
Yeah, little forward passes. We're sitting right in behind this Tweed Coast bench, Dwayne. I mean, there's not one player that's sitting down. They're all on their feet. They're all standing. The number of the officials are in and around the team. Brent Kite's talking to his players. And what a year they've had.
And Brent Kite, he can sense it now. He's out there applauding his staff of players.
Here goes Grant.
It's Alex Grant. Could he get one back for Ballina? He's just well defended. You can see it now. And the Viking clap goes up.
And that's Willoughby back there. What a machine he is.
And there is one South jersey amongst the Crossy. And they can feel it now.
And it's just not their day. I mean, nice cutout pass there for Richards, but unfortunately he's put his foot on the sideline.
And they can sense there was a good vibe coming in this after last week.
Well, this is going to be these scenes are going to be unforgettable once this siren goes here for these Raiders, boys.
And you are seeing this on the NRRRL YouTube page, folks. You're witnessing history right here. And this is why we're bringing it to you, so you can watch this. This will be forever etched in history.
1 minute to go. One of the Tweed Coast officials are telling us.
They might see out the centre six here. I think they just want to get back on the bus to Cabarita. They'll celebrate for weeks. And you'll read about it in the papers. You'll see it all over on TV. And you're seeing it all over here first on YouTube. Not long to go now before the biggest party in the Northern Rivers will be about to take place. And Cabarita and Pottsville are going to be They're going to be great hosts.
And look at this one. They're still playing footy. They're little inside balls. They're still coming at them. They haven't stopped all game.
This is Robertson.
Here it is.
The Tweed Coast Raiders have done it. The Tweed Coast Raiders have won it. And there is an absolute stampede here. Take this in, folks.
This is a stampede. Look at this. This is unbelievable.
The Tweed Coast Raiders are the NRRRL champions for 2018. They've done it in a big way. They've done what no team has ever done before. They've done it on enemy territory. Take in these seats, folks. It's absolutely electric here. There's still more coming, Crossy.
It's a moment in these guys' lives that they'll never forget, you know. There's still guys I've been involved with in rugby league. 20 years later, you still talk about grand final days and premierships. It's a special, special time, and congratulations to these Raiders boys.
And no pun intended, Crossy, but they've just paid Yobbo's Hill green.
They have indeed. It's just a wonderful day, isn't it, for the Raiders? And full credit to Ballina. And unfortunately for Mick Foster, their coach, they didn't come out and play their best footy today. But as you said, they probably weren't allowed to.
Tweed Coast didn't allow to. As Nathan Cross is going to go down and have a chat to some of the players. The minor and now major premiers for 2018, the Tweed Coast Raiders. They put an absolute clinic on today. They showed why they were the best team in the competition. Ballina were brave. They had a slow start to the season. They had grand final hosting rights. It wasn't until the final round that they actually got into second. They were the only team to beat the Tweed Coast Raiders all season. They came in as favourites, but the Tweed Coast, with the backing of NRRRL premiership winning coach, coach for the Tweed Coast Raiders, Brent Kite, had the blueprint and got the job done. As Nathan Cross now goes and has an interview with some of the winning players for the Tweed Coast Raiders. Taking these seats, folks. What a day of football. Of course, we're going to have the presentation here where the Tweed Coast will be awarded the major premiership. As Nathan Cross now goes down. And up goes the celebrations. They're going to celebrate long and hard in Cabarita. I've got a couple of buddies up that way who are going to be kept up to all hours of the night, I think. How good is this, folks? So we're just going to stand by now for Nathan Cross. He's going to be talking to a couple of the winning players for the Tweed Coast Raiders. In the meantime, we're going to take a break up here. Enjoy these scenes, folks. Enjoy the noise. So Dwayne Neville back with you now. So we're handing it over now to Robin Harley, who's so if you just joined us, Tweed Coast Raiders are 24 points to 4 winners. They are the major and minor premiers for 2018. They have defied history. They become the first team to come to the Fortress in Ballina to win the NRRRL Grand Final. As we're nearly all in readiness now for the presentation. My friends, you have seen an absolute clinic of football for both teams. Ballina, I want to stress, did not play a bad game today. They just played against a team that wanted this for so many years, playing in their first grand final. And no one has left here from the Tweed Coast. There are going to be parties all around the Tweed Coast today. Let's send it up to Robin Harley for the presentation.
Show me on the phone what you said about him getting engaged. What's that? That's not very nice. What's that? Show me on his phone what you said about him getting engaged. He said, what shots you want to make?
There's not very players that impact still, still part of it the whole time. Jimmy, Bruce, and one more. Tony, Lucky Tony. Come on. What? That. Yeah, Bruce, Jimmy, get up here, boys. Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, this is man of the match, Tweed.
There you have it. The party is now officially started now for the Tweed Coast Raiders. The presentation is now complete. They will now go on, which will be days, if not weeks, of grand final winning glory. They planned the blueprint. It came to fruition. And what sees, absolute sea of green out there before, during, and even certainly during the game, where you can see, I don't know if you can see it on the cameras here, but that left fencer is absolutely destroyed. As I now bring in Nathan Cross. Nathan, you've had a chat to some of the players down there. How is the mood down there? You said it's just, you cannot move. It's like standing room only.
Oh, it's just so enjoyable, Dwayne. You know, grand finals, I've said it before, they're just such special days, and particularly under these circumstances. I mean, a lot of these guys here are winning their first ever grand final, their first A-grade grand final, and like I said earlier, it's something that you'll never, ever forget, and you never forget the teammates that you've done it with, and you can be, you know, someone can move away from the area, and then 20 years later you can run into them, and it's like you've seen them every day of your life.
Absolutely.
That's what winning premierships do.
For me, the feels like it is when you watch like a prize fight, and there's that unknown boxer who's in the top 10 world rankings in boxing. He's probably ranked about 8th or 9th. He's an up-and-comer, and there's not many of the elite boxing pundits know it. I'll give you a perfect example. Jeff Horn against Manny Pacquiao last year. It was like, beware of the unknown, and then they just came and had that big advanced ball world beat. Jeff Horn fought at home at Suncorp, but it just had that kind of feel where the Tweed Coast, they just rose up, and Ballina, there was many who were tipping Ballina today. I'll probably admit I was one of them. Like, they were at home, they had this amazing record, they were the pound-for-pound best team in the NRRRL in recent years, and then the unknown comes in and takes the title.
Yeah, it's interesting. We sort of spoke off camera before the game, and to me, I just always felt there was a sense of destiny around Tweed Coast this year. And it's funny because I've been involved in seasons where just things happen that you can't really explain, but they just happen, and you know that you're a really good chance of doing something extremely special, and that's exactly what these guys have done. And I hope they've all got sort of 3, 4, 5 days booked off work, because they're going to need it.
I dare say too, I think I might need a couple myself to rest up the cords.
Oh, it's just, I mean, look at it. It's just such a special time. And to their coach, Brent Kite, you know, watching Kitey throughout the game there, he was trying not to show emotion, but I could see that he was very emotional towards the end, where they knew that they had it in the bag. And it'll be interesting to ask him when he comes up for a chat just around the difference of winning a grand final as a player.
That's if they don't jump in the car and head off to Cabarita first to start these celebrations, because as I said, as I was on Good Friday, Lesburger Field is going to be the after party of all after parties. They've already got a band set up there already. Fat Freddy's Drop, I think they were called. I think I got in the email. But they, as I said, they don't mind not hosting the grand final. They want to host the after party. It's happening.
Yeah, it'll be a night for the ages up there tonight, and certainly be wonderful to be a part of it. But also to their president, Josh Sattler, I mean, what a terrific guy. What a job he's done with the club. They've had a strong vision around where they were headed and what they wanted to do, and it's just panned out perfectly for them. And look at the support. You know, look at it, all the green shirts, and they're just great days, grand final days.
So before we proceed with interviewing Tweed Coast players,
You're going to interview Robin for us?
Yep. Before we interview, just getting in position now. We've got a special guest. We have Robin from NRRRL. I want to bring in Robin from NRRRL. Robin, what amazing scenes out there today.
Yeah, lovely scenes. 4 good games of footy, no doubt about that. 4 worthy winners, and as you said, the outpouring of joy from the Raiders fans for that win was something we haven't seen for a long time.
Going into this game, it was so close between both teams. 2 points separated in both games, as we saw in Cabarita 2 weeks ago. Well, both games actually featured in Cabarita. Anyone would have seen what we just saw today, where Tweed Coast just got into 5th gear and just took it?
Yeah, that's a fair comment. I thought the same thing, that the tough road that the Raiders had to go in getting to this game might find them out a little bit. Plus the fact that Ballina's experience in having been here 4 times in the last 5
Exactly.
years too much, but once they got to the front, they didn't seem to have any troubles at all in finishing the game off.
And not by any stretch of the imagination, I said it in the call, that Ballina didn't exactly play a bad game, and Crossy can alliterate, it's not that Ballina played a bad game, it's Tweed Coast just didn't let them play a good game.
I thought that was probably the key, that the intensity that the Raiders showed in defence was there right from the start and right until the 80th minute, and it never gave the Ballina playmakers a chance to find that bit of space that they've needed to get their work done.
And I thought it was also, as we've seen a lot of great turnout today, an amazing turnout by the Tweed Coast Raiders. As you saw in the fans there, there's still some of them a lot still there waiting to actually get on the field because there's so many supporters there. But also to have a big audience with this new initiative that the NRRRL have taken on board with the live stream YouTube, it's just so many advantages. As I said in the call, I think that was up to potentially 10 countries around the world that have actually, to my knowledge, taken a bit of Saturday night football.
Look, everything about the day was good. That's a small part of it, there's no doubt about that. The crowd was amazing, well behaved. It's all good.
And of course, this is going to be replayed on YouTube for days to come. Heading into next year, there's some big plans in for next year. So there's talk about 1 game a week being live streamed. So we want to get every team featured that were unlucky not to feature in the final series. They'll feature throughout the season, like the likes of Lyle, Clarence, Byron Bay, Evans Head, just to name a few.
Yep.
And I've been saying for many weeks over the final series, it's only just going to be good for these. This is the future out here. It's going to be great to have the development, especially now with the Titans getting on board a bit further on, that they can see these players live any time of the day, 24/7.
Yeah, look, I guess the sky's the limit as far as what the media and technology that's out there can offer, so we just got to embrace it.
Definitely. So, as we've talked about the A grade. What else impressed you from your point of view during the prelims? So we saw Morris Brothers, they're going on to next year undefeated in the reserve grade. We've got Ballina going 18s, 3-time now major premiers. And Morris Brothers Ramettes in the early game, the ladies tag, they went one better than last year. And
Well, I guess that was the incentive for the Ramettes, that they got defeated in the grand final last year and they wanted to win this year. As far as the under-18s go, there's just another generation of footballers that Ballina have got coming through into the senior grades. The reserve grade job, that gives Morris Brothers a platform to work off next year, and I guess the challenge now is with the A grade job, that Ballina pick themselves up and come back next year, and obviously the Raiders will want to repeat.
And then I was just saying to Nathan just before, to me the vibe of this game was Ballina have never been beaten at home in a grand final since NRRRL inception, and the Tweed Coast, they were just that team that it had a prize fight feel to it, where they weren't exactly, well in this case they were the minor premiers, but they just rose up the ladder, they were the unknowns. It was always the Ballina and Moolumbar show for the last number of years, and Coogin was thrown in there in the mix too. And it was just a new challenge, and boy, didn't they really show that come to the party. I'll just pass Nathan. Did you want to say a few words to Robin?
First of all, just want to thank Robin personally for allowing a minute's silence today for my father, Ray Cross. I know Robin and Dad had a great association, so thank you, mate. Just on a personal note, hear your own thoughts around the Tweed Coast Raiders. I mean, they're only fairly new to the competition. Have you been impressed with how quickly they've had success?
They were part of the semi-finals in first grade and reserve grade last year, and I guess that what let them down was their discipline. Yep. That certainly, they fixed that, and I think that's the biggest key. At this level of football, if you get your discipline right, and I'm not talking about back chat and the rep and that, the discipline to carry the ball and make your tackles and do those sort of things right, you're going to win most of your games, and that was the key. They fixed that up and they got it right, and today's the proof of the pudding.
That's what they did, mate, didn't they? In that major semi-final against Ballina, I mean, they had a lot of field position and possession, but they just didn't execute. And it was a little bit, sort of went against the year they've had with their errors. I always thought they could win here today, provided that they got those errors out of their game, and they did.
I thought that's true, but I thought they were a little bit more expansive today than they have been in the games that I've seen previously. They just got a bit wider than onto the edges, which is where they played most of their footy this year. And it paid dividends. And once again, but they did it with discipline. Didn't had good control of the ball. Couldn't have asked for better. I'll bet you their coach is very happy.
I was just going to ask you about their coach. I mean, what, from your point of view, the president of the NRRRL, you know, what are your thoughts around having someone of the stature of Brent Kite? I mean, he's done everything in the game. He's a Clive Churchill medalist. What does that do for local footy, and what are your thoughts on having someone like Kitey here?
I think it's fantastic, and I'd love to see it happen more. I understand why it's difficult that it doesn't happen more, but I think that if the NRL is serious about helping grassroots footy, they've got to encourage that sort of thing to happen, because it's had pretty immediate results here. Amazing.
It takes them from, as you said, a semi-final team last year through to their first premiership, and it's such a special day. And just want to obviously again thank you for the season. It's been good. Obviously we're heading in the right direction now with the live streaming, and I think the competition's getting closer, which everyone wants to see.
Yeah, no, mate, we're really happy with things. We've got a great bunch of clubs. Some of them need a little bit of help. We'll see what we can do to get that done. But yeah, it's onward and upward for us.
Yeah. Good on you, mate, and good on you. Well done on your job as per always, and thanks for your support, Robin.
That was Robin Harley, the president of the NRRRL. So in just a few minutes, we're going to bring up the winning coach. He's won an NRL premiership, and he's also, as a player, and now he's an NRRRL coach winner in Brett Kite. We're just going to send down Nathan to bring him up to the commentary box. And as everyone now heads off to the after parties up at Cabarita in Pottsville.
Go to the bunker.